Big field tournaments are one of the hardest forms of poker to conquer. They require a lot of time, endurance, skill, and even a bit of luck. This video will cover some of the basics that you'll need to dominate multi-table poker tournaments. Big field tournaments can usually take around 3 to 5 hours, or even longer depending on the size of the field. So you want to make sure that you've got the time to see it through until the end. Otherwise you're just wasting time and money. Now it also goes without saying that you have to play according to your other obligations, because the last thing you want to do is go to work with 3 hours sleep after staying up all night playing a tournament. You also want to make sure you've got plenty to drink, perhaps a few snacks, and also make sure your partner is going to be okay with you playing for that long. The last thing you need is a nagging partner distracting you from the game. And no, the 5-minute breaks are not long enough to take care of your marital duties. In a lot of the lower level tournaments, especially micro buy-ins and free rolls, you're going to notice that in the early stages, players tend to go crazy, hoping for a quick double up. It's easy to get caught up in the action yourself, hoping to win a big stack, but the best line of play is to actually tighten up and wait for a premium hand. You want to let the other players take the ridiculous risks and wait for the right spot to capitalize on their mistakes. In the early levels of a tournament, the chips you win or lose are actually worth a lot less than the chips you'd win or lose in the later levels, thus it's not worth risking your stack in marginal spots unless you're confident that you've got the best hand. Tournaments have different stages, where the dynamics tend to change depending on relative stack sizes compared to the blinds. As relative stack sizes change from 100 big blinds down to around the 10 to 20 big blind mark, players will often change to playing shove-fold poker. It's important to watch for the different stages and change your play accordingly. Just like the tournament itself has different stages, so do the tables. As players join and leave your table, you'll notice that the dynamic of the entire table changes. What may have once been a relatively aggressive table might suddenly become really tight as players come and go, or vice versa. It's important to pay attention to the dynamics as they change and adjust your strategy accordingly. This is a continuation of number 4, and a very important one. Every time you're moved to another table, you're going to find that the table dynamics may be drastically different than the last table you were at. It pays to tighten up a bit when you switch tables at first, until you get a feel for how the new table plays. ICM is especially useful in smaller field tournaments where pay spots jump dramatically. Chips lost become worth a lot more than chips gained, so ICM becomes very useful as you can easily identify spots where the risk is worth the gain chip-wise. Believe it or not, based on ICM, there are times where even folding pocket aces can be the right play, depending on your stack size and how close to a pay jump you are, and the stack sizes of the other players left. M-zone is another critical aspect of tournament play that a lot of players seem to ignore. By learning what M-zone is, you can easily change your strategy dynamically as your relative stack size changes according to the blind and ante increases. It can also be useful as you can anticipate how other players may play according to their stack size. It's surprising just how often you'll see players limp into pots when they're short stacked instead of either folding or shoving like they should. This is a massive leak and a key sign that you're up against weak players. Paying attention to other people's stack sizes is something you should do anyways, but as play progresses, you may find yourself in spots where you have a much deeper stack than everyone else at your table. You need to pay a close attention when you play a hand, as you have to take into consideration what other players will be doing based on their stack sizes. It's safe to assume that if someone after you only has 10 big blinds or less left, they will be playing for their entire stack if they decide to enter the hand with you. Based on this, it's important to adjust your ranges accordingly based on what you anticipate they will be doing. During the duration of a tournament, Everyone gets moved around several times as tables break. It pays to take notes on everyone you play against because you may end up at another table with them at some point. If you make notes of how they play, you'll be at an advantage if you end up at the same table again. Once the tournament is close to the first payout, you'll notice players tend to tighten up dramatically, hoping to coast into an easy cash. You want to use this opportunity to exploit people you feel are doing this and steal their blinds relentlessly. Everyone knows that the majority of a big MTT's prize pool is awarded to the final table, so it's worth bubbling the odd time and losing a min cash in order to build a massive stack that can take you even deeper into the tournament. Once the bubble breaks, players tend to become hyper aggressive again, hoping to pad their stacks that were depleted from folding into the money. When this happens, you want to again change gears and move back into that tight but aggressive style. As the field in a tournament drops, it pays to start paying more attention to the remaining few tables. It can allow you to figure out who you could potentially be up against and their playing styles. Now, if you get moved or a player is moved to your table, you'll have an advantage over them as you'll already have an idea of how to adapt to their play style. As usual, thanks for watching the video. Hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to click like and also subscribe to our channel to be notified when new videos are uploaded. We're also doing a monthly giveaway for all our subscribers, so check the details in the description box below to enter. You can also click one of the videos below to check out some of our other strategy videos.